So this video is gonna be on this this thing here. This is for like a kind of an idea for 3D wall. But this is basically a holographic hologram. Uh, Holograms are light bending things that that's a luminous color. But this is a kind of digital hologram that I'm trying to do on my computer. So, I'm gonna use AI to program it on the CSS canvas. So let me get started on what I mean. So this is a holographic system for OBIX, O for Oscar, B for Bravo, I for India, X for X-ray, which stands for the Heart UI UX library. It's gonna have this OBIX files, like OBIX files. No, I want you to use like Java JXS files, but as long as you can build it and put it in the web browser. But I'm looking at have OBIX files, But let me get to the drawing. So the drawing here is a foreground, has a foreground, a midground, and a background. So these are planes. These are three planes, and you see the camera. So this point here, oh, this point here is a camera. It's a camera. It's a pinhole camera. And because the pinhole camera flips the image, you're projecting with the you're taking a real life camera and project real and projecting into a digital space. And that was just the idea. But this is gonna be a project I'm gonna try to build with CS camera because you get some virtual assets in the real world and you're interacting with them. But the space around you is literally what I had this idea. I just had the idea now. I just documented it with this video. But it could be used for a hologram. You can use it as a holographic projection. But or 3D scene in the world, you can record it and make it see do something. That like a human coming out from basically if there's a human in the midground, there's a character in the midground, and that character stretches his arm to the foreground. It could be like a click event, in the click event, because the midground presents a character being a digital character. And if I record myself doing it as like or just a hand clicking something, I don't even like the term click. I like to use a kind of something more attractive, like picking up a cookie and saying, "Do you want cookies?" If you don't want cookies, but the idea of this is there are three canvases, and you can have three canvases there. So you have three canvases in this, or three canvases that have the render elements in the canvas, and when the canvas overlap, they are overlap based on the perspective. So you have one HTML5 canvas here, and you have another here behind it. But these are three canvases that on the screen. So by having three canvases, you have four brand new and background. And these are HTML5 canvases. Now these canvases are called planes. Planes of different or fabric. It's structured infinity. But the larger or the full screen infinity. But the idea is you have a camera that keeps them bound to uh, basically makes it bigger or smaller based on how you're in the real world in it. So you can play some games on the canvas, but you tangle the canvas. You tangle the canvas, hit the canvas. So if you search at OBNexus LTD CSS canvas, CSS canvas. This is CSS canvas. So the CSS canvas allows you to render CSS or HTML components on the canvas itself. So you render HTML components on the canvas. It's experiment, but it's not really just one experiment of it. There's not really a fundamental. I would say they use for it in the real world. Maybe use for capture like security, or capture, or maybe you can pixelate the foreground and something close in the background. Basically, I don't know, but maybe you can because if someone if because the background, midground, and foreground is linked, you can have something move to background, move to foreground. But it's gonna be unilateral. It's gonna be unilateral. So unilateral, no, unilateral is governance. It's gonna be uniform. So it's gonna behave like one system, you know. But this is the idea there. So there. So this is the canvases there. I'm not saying that I'm not trying to be smart or anything. I'm just trying to be honest. Because it's not really something I'm trying to do. So you just create three canvases and three slices on a canvas, and you project from the side. You align the corners onto the page, and you project and a characters in between the scenes. So the scene is basically any space in between the canvases, or in the, or the foreground, midground, or background. And it's something that I don't really know what to call it. But the idea of it is like you have a scene, and the scene, renders the characters. So at least at the Rika moment, it doesn't really mean anything to me. Well, it does mean something to me, but it's just a Rika moment. Because yeah, I didn't really get an idea from looking at holographic interfaces. But I'm gonna start to figure that out because I know what holograms are. I just have to remember what they were. Because it's not bending of light. Light moves at insane speed. Light is so fast, but it's not about for me. I know using light is the principle of it, but it's not bending light. It's not like a bending light waves. Light too, it's not about that. I'm not going to go. Because if you can solve a bending light, you use a lot of energy in the system, and that system is gonna fail itself ultimately. It's not gonna be bending lights, nothing, and anything with my implementation. It's gonna be about using spectrums and which is light waves. So it's gonna work differently. I'm going to do scientific. So we go to research, research a bit more about holograms and remember my introduction of holograms because I had introduction of holograms, but I never wrote it down. I never wrote it down. So this is just like a kind of a game. It's kind of like a cinematic and cinematic. This scene has a cinematic, cinematics in it. So this is the three images. So this is the foreground. So holograms. The holograms. So holograms. Wikipedia. 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 Holography. Holography. Yeah. So holography is a technique that allows wavefront to be recorded and integration. No, no holograms. The holography. Really, hologram. Hologram. Yeah. Holowiki. A hologram is a diffraction pattern which populates with a three-dimensional image. I think for me personally, I've never seen. The thing I'm saying is I've never seen a hologram in a kind of a textbook. This is the definition of hologram. Wikipedia hologram. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore because I'm making wrong mistakes and all of this. I'm not saying I'm small or anything. I'm just saying that I've never done this before. I literally had a way to build holograms as a child, and I didn't really write it down or then I forgot about it. But that's the problem I had. So what I'm trying to do with this video, personally, is to try to build this on computer. So three canvases. So this is a point of light. It's like it's not like a camera. This camera here, this pinhole here, this pinhole camera here. This is just a model of it, But what I'm thinking about. So the camera comes in a code. So this is the line of the screen. So you see this line here. This is the screen line. So this is wrong. So this should be here. This camera should be here. So this is the C starts here. So this is the camera. So this is the screen. This is not a camera. This is other screen. So basically, you can record a world and you can play it back on the camera because the cameras are connected by scenes and they are it's a bit holographic anyway. But it reminds me of that. Why I was doing how this as a child. So that's what it reminds me of as a child. Okay. So that was the video here. So if you have someone move in between the scenes, they are literally they have the scene they're moving in the world, like in the 3D world. If CSS can do that, it can't do that, But the canvas already have assets on it, so images, pictures. But if it's warped, you have to have a position, a velocity, a matrix, use the matrix to was the matrix to encode it in space, in the visual space, But it's not like a complete system. It's not like a something I'm actually working on properly. I'm just trying to build something out of it. It's just look at my diary. So this is the world. But that's the idea. That um, it's like yeah, it's just like So this is like a world, 3D world. You can have some move across Y, Z, and you can have the 3D scene, but the HTML can't be showing that. Thank you for watching.